out here spreading truth. For those of you who aren't familiar, the first celebration of this holiday was a mistake. The natives showed up because they thought the Pilgrims were under attack. The second day, the natives were invited to the Thanksgiving because they were the reason why they declared the second religious day of Thanksgiving in this country, when they murdered over 700 Pequot women and children in Connecticut in 1637. That was when this country celebrated its second religious day of Thanksgiving. The third religious day of Thanksgiving was when Massasoit's son's head was carried in on a pole here in Plymouth, where it rotted for over 20 years. That's why we're here, folks, because we will not forget. This is the truth. This is Thanksgiving. This is what we have to be thankful for as Native people in this country today. We lost our lands when we handed over that turkey. We got smallpox in return for our generosity. There are no reservations here in New England, folks, because all we got were praying towns. We've never been afraid of them. We've done our best to tolerate them. This is what we celebrate today, folks. This country's origins is founded on blood here on this continent, here on this soil here in Plymouth. The entire community was decimated the year before the Pilgrims arrived here. When the Pilgrims arrived and found their bleached and scattered bones lying around unburied, they called it a grace of God. I see here in these streets. My land is what I have to be thankful for. The fact that I'm still on it, I give thanks that I was not abducted as a slave. I have a slave name because I was lucky enough to be a slave here in New England. Narragansett, purchased by the Wheaton family, and that's why I'm a Wheaton now, because I was a slave. It's a good thing I was a slave because I wouldn't be here to spread the truth today. I'd be overseas, I'd be in Barbados, many of our people were sent to Bermuda. The Pequots, who were massacred in 1637. Any of those who were not slaughtered and burnt alive were marched to Mashpee colony, put on trial, and they were sold as slaves. Most of those Pequots ended up in Bermuda. We have been very fortunate to find those people there. The entire island of Bermuda knows that they were native slaves. They call them the crazy Mohawks. They call them the filthy Mohawks. They were Pequots, abducted from Connecticut in 1637 and sold as slaves to the island of Bermuda. Before they sent those slaves on their slave ships, leaving Boston Harbor and Mashpee colony behind, and Pilgrim's Progress, before they sent those Pequot warriors, those people that they corralled up like cattle, before they sent them off to be slaves, they said they could never again be Pequot. They could never utter the word Pequot. And at that very same moment, in that very same breath, is when this country declared its second